Welcome to a SharePoint end user session on a very important topic called list. Hope you all can hear me and see the screen. Please have some water or fruits by your side. The goal of this session is to give you more power, more confidence and skilled in SharePoint list to get a database design done and get the 6-hour work done in 2 hours without unwanted SQL installation, and also guidelines to avoid mistakes. Information or data plays a major role in our day-to-day life. The fundamentals of SharePoint is list. It's as simple as converting real-world objects and storing their details online or in the virtual world. Let's assume you have many houses, one in London, Shanghai or Australia, and you want to store the details for your personal or for business purpose. You can have the details like the house number, house name or resident name. So what is list? List is nothing but the data for SharePoint. There are two types of list. One is the default list and next is the custom list where you can create your own columns. For example, if you are building a house, by default you can have a hut or you can have a building or you can have a simple mansion. In SharePoint, the available lists are called list templates. If you want to create your own list with your own columns, then we generally choose the custom list. That is the most common list used in any real-time organization. For example, if you want to store the student details for any university, then you can store the details like the student ID, student name and subject in a list called student. In SharePoint, some of the default columns in any list is called title, which is nothing but the name of the data, and when it was created, like the created, and when it was modified and who created using the created and modified by information. It is very similar to the Windows Explorer. For example, in Windows File Explorer, you can see the name, who created, modified and the folder you have. Similar to that in SharePoint or OneDrive, such metadata is stored. In the real world example, when you see an apple, it definitely has a color and a shape. So you can store the fruits information in a fruit table with details like the name or title followed by the color and shape. Coming to the list templates. There are different types of default lists available, just as you can have a palace or a hut or a building. Similarly, in SharePoint, the most important default list template is the files or the document library where you can store Word, Excel, PowerPoint. One more important list is the videos where you can store media and site assets where you can store your custom code. Another important document library is the picture library where you can store images. Next is the site pages where you can store the pages. Continuing with the list templates, there are other templates like the announcements, survey, discussion, task, each serving their own purpose. Next is a contacts list where you can store all the contact information of employees like the first name, last name, and many other details like the birthday, address, etc. Another important list is the links list where you can store the links to various websites in one page in a single table or SharePoint list. And you can use the promoted links list where you can store the images also, where people can click the images and go to the link. The most important list again is the calendar where you can store the events and organize events and allow people to interact with each other through events. Coming to the picture library, you can store the picture For example, suppose you're storing your favorite childhood cartoons. You can create a picture library called cartoons, and you can have the actual data like cartoon 1, cartoon 2 with the actual values like Tom and Jerry, Johnny Quest. As a quick summary, we saw the most important fundamentals of SharePoint called list, or how data is stored in a tabular format. We had different forms of list like document library, picture library, which can store images and files, and also the custom list, which is nothing but a tabular data or SQL type of data. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.